Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning into this video. Precious metals are on the rise. Gold is at $1,542, silver at $18.23. What does this mean for precious metals in the near future? Is it more bullish or will it pull back, having a slight correction? Well, all of these are good questions, and this is good stuff to talk about. But I want to talk about the gold to silver ratio and how important that is right now as well to be focusing on. A lot of people overlook the gold to silver ratio. So right now the ratio is 84 to 1, meaning it takes 84 ounces of silver to amount to or equal 1 ounce of gold. In the past couple months, we saw the ratio up to 95 to 1, which is extremely high. Historically, it's around 60 to 1. It's been 40 to 1, many years ago. But, a healthy ratio or a normal ratio is around 70, 75 to 1, meaning that the metals are equivalent to some extent. And I say to some extent because silver is still extremely undervalued in my opinion. But 84 to 1 is definitely lowering, meaning silver has to either appreciate up to gold or gold has to depreciate to silver. So using the gold to silver ratio, you can kind of tell which metal is going to be outperforming the other. Right now, it looks like silver is going to be outperforming gold in the near future as this ratio lowers. You can also use the gold to silver ratio to earn free gold or silver for your advantage. I'm not going to go into that. It's basically just transferring one metal to the other, earning free metals once the ratio is lower or rises to your advantage. But that's a whole different subject I can make a video about. But right now, we're just talking about the specific prices and what they mean and how we can benefit from this. So, as precious metals enthusiasts or silver stackers, especially, this is really good signs for us. We want lower ratios. It comes out of the ground roughly 9 to 1, and in the world it's not used much more than, or it doesn't have any less relevance than gold. It's just gold is more expensive. Now, silver being the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity and electricity, especially with the supply videos, how the supply is diminishing, what I've been talking about over the weekend, this is definitely an opportunity for silver to really start shining and for people to actually start taking notice of it. It's been swept under the rug by media, by people, even investors, even investors into precious metals. For let's talk about gold, or how miners are literally bypassing or pushing silver out of the way, focusing on gold because they have their money that gold is going to be more profitable and that gold's going to be outperforming silver. But we're starting to see that they could be mistaken. Silver is definitely a very, it's a very unique metal for everything that it has on the table for it. It's all the odds are in its favor. So once it does start appreciating, I think people are finally going to start connecting the dots and finally start seeing that this is a ticking time bomb just waiting. When silver was $50 in 2011, people understood it. They thought the silver was going to keep going higher. So I don't see why, just because it's in a bear market or just because the prices are relatively low, that people have to overlook it. That's just a price for you to start buying it cheaper. When we get desensitized to these prices, a lot of people they want that instant gratification so bad that they don't have the patience to wait a couple months or a couple years for it to start appreciating. They're going to forget about it, throw it away like it has no value, when it truly does. What we talk about, even when silver is $15, we know us precious metals or us silver stackers are still buying silver, still talking about it, still pumping out videos, still talking about how cheap it is and how much potential's in it. But the rest of the world kind of turns the blind eye and just says, you know what, you guys are crazy. But then when the price starts actually rallying or it starts to become profitable, then they jump on board. These are people usually with weaker hands. Usually they're not going to be in it for too long. But it's still good that people are finally starting to see the benefits that precious metals can offer, because I definitely think that on a global spectrum, silver is much more undervalued than people will ever realize. I mean, back in historical times, in biblical times, it was used, Egyptians used it. Egyptians actually saw gold and silver as equivalent price. Gold and silver were both equal in price or in currency. And that's something to take note on, because it was only over time, as a stigma was attached to gold as the royal metal, as it really started to gain value. But really, silver being $18 compared to a metal being $1,500, that's a huge price gap. And I think that gap can start to diminish or start to correct itself when people start to understand what's really at stake and how this stuff really works, what the real value is, and how the real value is, being implicated in our gadgets, in our technology, in our society. Industrial uses are, the demand for it has to keep coming. We need more and more silver every single day. But if the supply, which I've been talking about, the supply is diminishing, miners aren't digging it out the ground. Hopefully they might start taking charge of that now that silver's starting to rally a little bit. But if it takes something as minuscule as just the price, not appreciating, with gold, even on a couple dollars level, then that shows you just really how weak-handed they are, and how the lack of faith they have in silver. Or actually it really just shows how money hungry they are. If they can make an extra dollar with some other metal, they're going to take that route, which is pretty crazy. But that's the society we live in. The dollar's king. But this can also play in silver's favor once it starts rallying, pulling in new investors, people starting to push away from stock markets, starting to understand their fiat currency isn't gaining any momentum, that you can actually be transferring your wealth into something that holds its value but also appreciates over time. And that's really beneficial. I don't see how someone could look at their money in a savings account and then look at investing in silver a couple months ago when it was $15, and see that each ounce you could have purchased could be a $4 profit. You could be buying, if you would have bought 1,000 ounces, do the math. That's a quick $4,000 in a couple months. Not even regarding the coin's price appreciating on top of the spot price as well. So there's many things at stake. When I really talk about it, I know you guys understand. I know the people that are watching these videos, that watch silver videos and investing videos, understand. But what will it take for the rest of the world to understand? Or will they ever understand? Or do they even want to? Can they even comprehend this type of stuff? Or, a lot of people don't even care about their future financially. They don't care about financial stability. They're going to keep living paycheck to paycheck, and that's just the reality we live in. But I think more nowadays, more than ever, people are starting to figure out that investing can be beneficial. I think cryptocurrency kind of sparked that. There was one point where Coinbase, the cryptocurrency exchange, was the #1 downloaded app on iOS, which is pretty crazy. And is thinking about all the different apps there is on iOS. So I think, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin might have drew people in to see that, investing, you can actually make money. It's not always a real gamble. And especially when people start understanding how safe silver is, especially people that probably got burnt from cryptocurrency, once they find out there's another alternative that's a lot safer, that you can actually hold tangible items, the physical bullion in your hands, the historical value of these coins, how it's holding a piece of treasure. Some of the stuff that brought me into investing or in the precious metals world as a kid growing up, that feeling of having treasure in your hands and learning where the coins came from and how many several hundred years old they are. This stuff can play, this is all stuff that can drive people into the world of precious metals and also be a very educational lesson as well. So anyways, though, just to wrap this video up a little bit, I'm making this video because I definitely think the gold to silver ratio is a nice indicator. It's a nice thing to reflect on, to show where the metals are, where they lie right now. If the ratio starts going back up, it obviously shows things are more off balance. But if it starts to keep correcting, going back down to the 75-to-1 range, then we see that silver is starting to have the balance, have the valuable, just the feeling behind it, or the people behind it realizing that its true value is there. And I think that's the most important thing, because gold is always going to be king. Gold's always going to be, up there in the 1500s, 1300s even. But silver is the metal I think people always overlook, and I think it's really important that people start understanding where its value truly lies. And that's why I try to make those educational videos talking about silver's value, how undervalued it is, the supply versus demand, gold to silver ratio, what it's used for in technology, etc. I'm trying to do my job. But anyways, though, I do appreciate you guys for tuning into this video. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you're new. I post daily videos. I also posted a video earlier today. I know you guys will like that, so go check that out. I'm talking about silver above $18, and if it's time to sell yet. So if you want to go check out that video, I share my information or my opinion on when it's time to sell, and if it's time to sell right now, or if you think it's going to keep going higher, if you should hold off. So if you want to find out about that, go check that video out I posted earlier today. Anyways, though, I'm going to wrap this video up here. This was Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you guys soon. Peace.